Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Friday, July 8th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the legend himself, Mr. Josh Crash Davis. Josh, TGIF, what do you say, man?
Yeah, it is Friday. It doesn't necessarily feel like Friday because we have a short week. So I don't know what day it feels like to me. Almost like a Saturday in a way. But yeah, so looking forward to it. We got a nice, I think it's a 14 game slate on the main slate tonight. So
Correct.
A lot of action to cover. Hopefully we can get some low owned home runs and take some stuff down.
Absolutely. We had a really good night on Fanduel last night. It was one of those really strange slates where, you just never know in baseball. I mean, I was in the top 5 in all my contests, also won a nice big ticket, but I had 3 zeros. How can you have a great night like that and have 3 zeros? Only in baseball.
Everybody else just did worse than you. So, it's one of those things. Sometimes the chalkier plays don't come through, and you've got somebody that's lower owned that does well and makes a difference. So,
well, Mookie Betts is my favorite human being on the planet right now. So, but let's see if we can get it together for everybody today. Try to hit on everything that we provide for, which is DraftKings, Fanduel, Yahoo, and PrizePicks. So we'll be going over all of that today. Stay tuned till the end when we give our PrizePicks Plays. And also we're going to choose a 2 brains are better than one Fanduel GPP. Hopefully all of that stays intact throughout the day. But no worries if you're not a member and you're just a listener every day. We appreciate you. And we'll be posting any changes if there are on that 2 brains Fanduel lineup on Twitter. So you can always catch us on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. I am at Joe Sarvati, JoeSarvadi, and Crash can be found at JP Davis 1982. If you are looking to get involved, this is the most, I love this. This 2 weeks is just nuts for me. I forget the fact that there's no sleep involved because I was watching that late. First of all, what the hell was ESPN thinking last night?
Right.
The first game of the NBA Summer League, all these NBA fans everywhere, all fired up. You got the first and third pick with Smith versus Banchero, and there's just this random NHL hockey draft on. I was like, what is going on? Wasn't that weird?
Yeah, that was weird. Like I said in the chat, I was using the ESPN app, so I didn't really know what was going on there. But that is really strange. I don't know why they would do that. I mean, the NHL draft is not traditionally something that gets very much ratings at all. So
I wouldn't think so. And it was like they were in the very bottom of the first round too. It was like, please, just
that's crazy.
Let's go. But it was weird, but I did get to watch the second game in full, so that was good. But it was early this morning,
right?
And we're going to get a lot more of that because the Vegas games go late afternoon till 2:00 in the morning, whatever it is. But
I think the Bucks play like one of the later games tonight. So
it's awesome though. I'm not complaining as long as they put them on like they said. Check your channels, though, because every single game is on, but there's a mixture between NBA TV, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN College, the College Station one. So you have to check all those to make sure you don't miss any games. And then, if you want to join us for that, we have an NBA Summer League package. It's not too late to jump in that. It's only $26, and it's every single game all the way through all 11 days of coverage. Just go to dfscoachtalk.com, or if you just want to try us out for the weekend, this is always the best day to do our 3-day pass. It's only $10. Again, dfscoachtalk.com. Just jump in, and it is nuts, man. I was doing the schedule this morning. We've got a huge MLB baseball slate, and it's awesome because it's 14 games on FanDuel, DraftKings, and Yahoo, all at 7:05. We've got 2 different start times for the NBA Summer League. And then we have the weekend-only stuff for the Scottish Open. And did you see where we're sitting in these Scottish Open standings right now?
Yeah, and I'm a little upset on FanDuel because they didn't really have anything available as far as tournaments. I mean, I tried to get in right when the lineups were posted, and there was like nothing available. So I just got a satellite contest, which I'm currently in first, and then I entered a 100-man contest, which didn't fill. So,
yeah, I was super disappointed in FanDuel selections as well. DraftKings was good. Yahoo had their regular stuff, but I don't know if it's this whole live thing and just everything is sort of in flux. Golf is all jacked up. But the bottom line is we had, as of this morning, because they're on a different time, they're in the middle of the round. We had at 1.4 of the top 6, and this is like a field of. There's so many guys in this thing. So I think we could take this sucker down, knock on wood, and hopefully just keep it up. So we're going to have weekend lineups that we're going to give out tonight to our members as well for DraftKings and FanDuel. Yahoo doesn't offer weekend, but so that we got a full plate. But let's get into the MLB stuff. We want to get this done early enough so that everybody has a chance to listen. I'm excited because it's 14 games all on one slate. I don't like all the crazy mixed slates. I like big slates, so I am happy about that. Let's talk real quickly about the weather, though, because this will be something we'll follow closely throughout the day. There are 5 games that I actually have a little bit of concern about, one specifically. But I believe the first one is the early game. Is the Cincinnati game the early game?
Yeah, it is.
Good. I don't care about that then. So it's only four games. None of them are like critically bad, but they're all something we're going to have to watch. So make a note. Angels at Baltimore. So Baltimore weather could be a little rainy. We check that out and see. Possibility of a shower for Miami and the Mets, but that should be fine. Also, Washington and Atlanta, those pop-up showers, which I'm very mad about last night because the weather scared me and I had Strider everywhere and I switched to stupid Garrett Cole. Yeah. So anyway, that's another story. So don't let the weather override you if it's not too bad. And then St. Louis has a chance for a shower or two. So I think everything plays, but Baltimore, New York, Chicago, and St. Louis, we're going to watch closely Atlanta. So
looks pretty good to me. I think, like you said, that Cincinnati game's the only one that's really any kind of a concern weather-wise, but they're not on the main slate, so I think we're good to go.
I love it. Yeah, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, that does not exist to us, and I'm glad it doesn't because of the weather. Right. All right, here we go, buddy. Let's fire this and feel free to jump in wherever. If not, I'm going to roll since we got 14 of them. Yeah, LA Angels at the Baltimore Orioles, 8.5 total. Game is a 7:05 game. No wind to discuss. 83 miles an hour. Like I said, a little bit of a decent chance of a shower here and there, so we'll keep an eye on it. We have a 4 implied total for the Angels, 4.5 implied for the Baltimore Orioles. Reed Detmers at 6.6K, and we'll be mentioning DraftKings pricing, and Tyler Wells at 6.3K. So interesting game here off the bat. Lefty versus Baltimore, so maybe some right-handed bats available there. 7:10 Miami Marlins, New York Mets, only 7.5 total here. 3.33 implied for Miami, 4.17 for the Mets. A little breeze, 10 miles an hour, blowing out to left field. A nice warm 79 in New York, so good hitting weather. But a couple of respectable pitchers here. Pablo Lopez at 8.6K and Chris Bassett at 8.7K. So a lot of different ways you can go in that game. 7:10 New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox. It is a beautiful warm night in Boston. Slight breeze blowing out to left center at 8 miles an hour, but 80 in Boston, which is definitely warm weather. Ball flies there at times. big implied totals with this 9.5 total. Yanks with a 5.15 on the road here in Boston, and implied for the Red Sox is 4.35. Nestor Cortez, 10.1K, and cheap Connor Siebold at 6.3K. So I see some bats in this game. That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
Rain possibilities in Atlanta, but nothing to overreact to. We'll follow it. It's slight breeze right to left, hot 89 degrees, 9 implied for this Nationals Braves game, 3.22 for the Nationals, 5.78 for the Braves. Stack City, it's looking like for Atlanta tonight. Eric Fetty, 6.9K, and the veteran Charlie Morton, 9.2K. We jump to 8:05. Minnesota Twins, Texas Rangers, 8 total. They split it right down the middle, 4 implied for both squads, with the battle of the Grays. How about that? I think Gray's going to win this game. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's Sonny Gray at 9.7K and John Gray at 8.8K even. Spelled the same way, no relation, but it is fun that that the two Grays get to battle it out here, and it's a dead even implied totals. Pretty interesting. Pirates Brewers, you know the Brewers, 8-10 in the dome. By the way, the Rangers are in their dome too. It's too hot in Texas to open the roof. They'll melt.
Yeah, it was 110 here with the heat index yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to Dawson because he was all fired up yesterday about the NBA as well. And he said he tried working out outside, jogging a little bit. It was 107. Heat index 115. No thanks.
Yeah. It's
no
insane.
Fun. All right. Your Pirates Brewers aren't going to have that issue in the dome. It'll probably be like a sweet little 71, 72 degrees. Yeah. 8's the total there. 3.22 for the Pirates. 4.78. Nice number for the Brewers. I know you'll have Brewers on that lineup. JT Brubaker, 7.3K. And then the lefty, Aaron Ashby at 7.4K, a guy we've been trying to figure out this year. 8-10, Cleveland Guardians, Kansas City Royals, 8.5 total. 4.10 for the Guardians, 4.40 for the Royals. It is a beautiful sunny day in Kansas City, warm there as well, 85 degrees, slight wind blowing in from left at 10 miles an hour. Aaron Savali, 6.5K, and Brady Singer, 7.7K. So I like the bats there as well.
Yeah.
Detroit and the White Sox, it is another hot day, wind blowing out to right at 11 miles an hour. Actually, it's not that hot in Chicago. It's comfortable, 72 degrees. Can't beat that. Little breeze. Gotta love that. And Tariq Skubal, the lefty, 7.6K against Lucas Giolito, 7.8K. So you've got two pretty well-renowned pitchers that get a lot of play, both cheap today. I thought that was very interesting. The implied totals here are 3.42 for the Tigers and 4.58 for the White Sox. Was that pricing as surprising to you as it was me?
Yeah, it is. It is a little surprising. So we'll have to see where things land, but it is definitely surprising.
I thought so. All right, 8:15, Phillies Cardinals in St. Louis, 87 warm degrees, wind blowing in from left at 8 miles an hour. Only 7.5, low total, both sub 4 implieds, 3.9 for Philly, 3.6 for St. Louis. Two good pitchers on the mound, of course, Zach Wheeler at 10K and Adam Wainwright, the veteran, at 8.4K. Then we run over to Oakland. We hit the West Coast now. All the rest are West Coast games. 9:40. So we're going to have late night baseball and all this basketball, trying to get the golf in there. I need to buy a couple more TVs, I think is what has to happen here. It is the Houston Astros, Oakland A's. Low implied totals here, both sides, especially for Oakland. It is wind blowing out to center. It's always like that in Oakland, but Oakland's similar to San Fran. It's just very whirlwindish. It doesn't really blow out. Comfortable 71 in Oakland, so a little warmer than normal. 4.31 implied for the Astros, only 3.19 for Oakland. And that's because Jose Urquidy's on the mound at 8.2K for Houston, and Paul Blackburn for 7.2K for the A's. Jump to Arizona, Colorado at Arizona in the Dome. 8's the total, 3.53 for Chad Kuhl and his 6.7K for the Rocks. And then 4.47 implied for Zach Gallen and his 8.3 price for the D-backs. Another game that very tough call there, in my opinion. 9:40, we head over to San Diego. Of course, perfect. 5-mile-an-hour breeze, nothing. 71 degrees, perfect. Just San Diego's unbelievable. 7.5 total. It's 3.39 implied for San Fran. 4.11. What's the 4.11 in San Diego? A crash. That is the Padres implied total. Sam Long, 5.1K, cheaper than a bunch of hitters. And Blake Snell, he's sort of an enigma. Try to figure out what's going to happen with him.
Right.
He's 7.9K in San Diego tonight. So we'll see if we can figure that one out. And then we've got two late games, the two late night sweat games, both at 10:10. Chicago Cubs versus the LA Dodgers, 8.5's the total. We have Keegan Thompson at 7K. They have a 3.36 implied for the Chicago Cubs. Tyler Anderson all the way up at 9.4K, but the Dodgers have a monster implied again at 5.14. So again, no wiggly. I say this every day. I say wiggly wind instead of Wrigley. No Wrigley win game to talk of. There's no Coors game. So we get fair play across the board. I love it. And it makes perfect sense. And Dodgers are generally going to be the highest implied total, and they are again today at 5.14. The last game, Blue Jays Mariners, 8.5 total in the Dome, 4.37 implied for Toronto, 4.13 for Seattle. We have Ross Stripling is down to 5.8K, super cheap, and George Kirby, who drives me nuts.
Yeah, we're not using him.
Bad or indifferent. Good night. He's 8.1K. Who knows what to expect from that guy? I certainly don't, and I'll admit it. So that is the slate, my friend. Did I miss anything? Hopefully not.
I think you covered it. I think you got it.
Outstanding. All right, we're jumping right into this. No messing around. Who's your pay-up pitcher today, Crash?
My top pay-up pitcher is going to be Charlie Morton. He's 10,000 on.
You hate Charlie Morton.
I know.
You pick on him all the time. I thought this was one day I could take a pay-up pitcher and not sweat it because you always make fun of Charlie Morton. I can't believe it.
Not today. He's 10,000 on, and I think he was my fade pitcher last time he started.
He was. That's why I felt safe.
Yeah. So 10,000 on FanDuel, 9,200 on DraftKings. He is coming off what was his best start of the season so far against Cincinnati. He pitched 7 shutout innings, struck out 10 for 55 fantasy points, and he scored 52 plus fantasy points, of course, using FanDuel scoring in 3 of his last 4 starts. And he's going up against Washington. They've scored the 4th fewest runs per game at 3.93. They have been avoiding striking out, but I think that he's in a great spot, and he'll come close to his 50 fantasy point mark here again. So I like Charlie Morton. He's my top pay-up option.
I love Charlie Morton. He has definitely got my favorite pitcher on this slate. I think his price is very fair. 92, like you said, on DraftKings, 10K, which is fine on FanDuel, and 45, which is very fair on Yahoo. So, the thing I love about him, you're going to get 7 innings from this guy. I mean, he's such a machine. And do you know his strikeouts, people aren't realizing, even at his age now, which he's been around quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
In his last games, he only had one game where he didn't have a ton of strikeouts. But listen to this. He had 10, then that 5 against Philly, but then he had 11 against Frisco, which is no cup of tea, 9 against the Cubs, 12 against Pittsburgh, 8 against Colorado. So this guy is getting consistent strikeouts, and his scoring, like you mentioned, when you have a bunch of 50s and 40s in there, man, I'll take that all day long. Washington is a young, really disheveled team since, even more so, since their main man turned down $350 million.
Mm-hmm.
So, with Soto not knowing exactly what Soto's going to do, it really creates a lot of concern there for their fans in Washington. But when you look up and down that lineup crash, Nelson Cruz has hit him a little bit, but not anybody else. I mean, Soto's 3 for 3 against him, but no homers. So that's a little scary. But you take all the rest of these guys, Hernandez, Bell, Garcia, Ruiz, Hernandez, Franco, Toms, whatever. They don't have but like 1 hit total against him. So if he can just slide by Soto and just be a little cautious with Cruz, he should have a field day with this lineup.
Mm-hmm. Hope so.
I like the 28 starting pitchers to choose from, and we have the same payout on a guy you faded last time. So I'd have lost that bet for sure.
Yeah. This is the the unpredictability of baseball.
It is. We may have the same value guy too. We could.
Yeah, we could. Tyler Anderson?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. Tell us why Tyler's your man.
9,000 on Fanduel, 9,400 on DraftKings. He did struggle his last 2 starts, but those were against Colorado and Cincinnati, both in Colorado and Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So tough hitter pitcher environments. He was able to bounce back last Saturday. He pitched 6 1/3 innings, struck out 6, and only allowed 1 run for 44 points against the Padres in LA. And he's going up against the Cubs team that they've been striking out at near 30% rate lately. He faced the Cubs earlier this year in Wrigley when it was windy. He pitched 5 innings, struck out 7, and allowed 2 runs for 36 fantasy points. So I think he'll have a game, against the Cubs, kind of like what he had against the Padres last week, if not better. And probably have a few more strikeouts than Gonsolin, who didn't get a ton of strikeouts last night. So
yeah, he pitched tough though. He just didn't strike out a ton of guys. That's for sure.
He's rock solid. Gonsolin.
He really is.
Yeah.
I just think he's was way too cheap. I went with Lucas Giolito. I know, we've gone against him some this year.
Yeah.
And he's not going as deep into games, but I just like the matchup. I think he's in a great spot here. And he's too cheap. He's only 7,600 or 7,800 on DraftKings. That's got to be the cheapest price he's been at in a long time.
Yeah.
He's only 8,800 on FanDuel and $38 on Yahoo. Wow. I mean, when did he just completely fall off a cliff? I know Toronto 2 games ago and Houston 3 games ago, they both smashed the daylights out of him. So he had 2 really bad games. I get that. But those are 2 potent teams. He bounced back just fine the last game, 34 FanDuel points, pitched his 6 innings, got 6 strikeouts. I just think he's so cheap. If you look at before those 2 that he got bombed, he had great outings, a lot of games in a row. 27, 31, 30, 46, 30, 43, 44, 34, 36, 30. So I'm just looking at that price. If he can grab me 30 points there as the second fiddle to Morton, I'm thrilled with it. And I love the matchup. You almost can pencil him in for 6 to 8 strikeouts. And I just think he's in a great spot. And he's one of those guys that, by the way, his last start was 46 Fanduel.
That's what I was going to say. His last start was probably his best start of the season.
It was. I skipped that one. He had the Angels were 34 on June 27th points, and he got 46 against San Fran, who's no cup of tea. Granted, it was in San Fran, but only 3 hits, 7 Ks. So I think those two were an aberration, and I'll go back to Lucas. I think he can get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Baez is the only one in their projected lineup that's really giving him much trouble. So
exactly,
Baez hit a home run last night, so hopefully, he won't.
He got it out of his system.
Yeah.
All right, sir, who you fading?
Pablo Lopez. He's 9,700 on FanDuel, 8,600 on DraftKings, going up against the Mets in New York. He faced them a couple weeks ago. That game was also in New York, and he pitched 5 1/3 innings, struck out 5, but he allowed 6 runs on 8 hits for only 13 fantasy points. So I'm just going to pay 300 more for Morton or 700 less for Anderson on FanDuel. And then on DraftKings, Morton's only 600 more than Lopez. So Lopez is definitely my fade of the day.
Yeah, he's not been on his game. All right, I'm going to give you the fantasy score on DraftKings for the last 5 games for this pitcher. And you can try to tell me who it is without cheating. 25.7, 15.1, 4.2, 18.4, and 3.6. Any guess?
Nestor Cortez?
You got it.
Okay.
My point being, those aren't very impressive numbers.
Right.
And here's the strikeout: 6, 7, okay, 3, 4, 3. I mean, I just don't see it. Boston's hitting. It's warm in Boston tonight. And he hasn't pitched well. Yeah. I mean, the last outing against Cleveland was very respectable, but really, in general, he has not pitched that well. People still think he's the ace of that staff, but it makes no sense to me to pay the top price, most expensive on DraftKings at 10-1, most expensive on FanDuel at 10-3, and he is 5th most expensive at 43 on Yahoo. I think they got it right, but I just I don't see the value against a Boston team that's hitting in a hot stadium that's a hitter stadium. I'm fading Nestor Cortez.
Devers is 2 for 6 with 2 home runs against Cortez. So
he's got 2 home runs against everybody, I think.
He's just going to go for 2 home runs against the Yankees all series, I think.
The second one he hit off Cole last night was just a moonshot.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Never came down.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Cole was like, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah, he was looking for advice. I don't know if you saw that in the post game yesterday, last night, where he was like, "Does anyone have any advice as to what I can do to?" I mean, he's at a loss as what to do with Devers.
Well, you know what? He's at a loss because he can't cheat anymore and grunge up the ball like he used to.
Yeah,
that's what his problem is.
Yeah.
All right, Chief. Let's go to our BVP call.
Okay, so for BVP, this guy helped us win some money on Sunday. Rhys Hoskins, he's 3,700 on FanDuel, 4,200 on DraftKings, 600 against Adam Wainwright with 6 hits and 10 at-bats, 2 singles, a double, and 3 home runs. And as I mentioned, he helped us on Sunday night. He put out that single game lineup for us on FanDuel, and he hit a home run against him Sunday, and then he almost hit a second home run. It was a long double.
That would have been a takedown for us, by the way. He missed it by a foot.
Yeah. So he just missed having a double dong. So definitely Rhys Hoskins. Although my home run call I like a lot too as far as BVP, but I'll get to that in a minute.
I love Rhys Hoskins as well. He's not my choice here, but man, I've been on the Hoskins bandwagon. He's been huge for me this last 2 or 3 weeks.
Definitely.
I'm going with my old buddy. I usually have the right mojo call on him, and I'm going with him tonight, and that's my BVP, Marcell Ozuna.
Yep.
He's going against Eric Fetty. He's 7 for 11. I know it's a small sample. We believe in it here. 636 average.
Yeah.
How about this OPS crash? 2.097. You don't see twos in those OPSs. 1364 slugging, 733 OBP, and a 636 average. Not only is he has 7 hits and 11 at bats, 4 of them are for extra base hits, 2 of them are home runs, and he's walked 4 times. Yeah. I mean, he checks all 5 boxes for me for BVP, and he will be in all my lineups tonight.
Yep, me too. And he's my home run call. So.
Sorry that I stole him.
So, yeah, I mean, everything that you said, 16 of his 17 home runs have been against right-handed pitchers this year. So, I always thought he was kind of somebody that smashed lefties, but he's definitely more on that seam splits, or reverse splits, I should say.
He is a reverse splits guy. Yep. This year, for sure. I'm going with my best buddy, my favorite player in baseball for my home run call. That's Mr. Jordan Alvarez. He's 3 for 10 with 3 dingers against Paul Blackburn. 1,500 OPS, 1,200 slugging, 300 OBP, 300 average. I'd say when he connects deep, and I think he can do that again today. So Jordan Alvarez, expensive, for Alvarez.
True.
But you get, my other play on the BVP, Ozuna's, very fairly priced. So I'll be those 2 will show up in a lot of lineups for me tonight, Crash.
I like it, Coach.
All right, real quickly before we do stacks and prize picks, 2 things I want to mention. 1, this is the time to join Coach Talk. DFSCoachTalk.com. Come on in for our NBA Summer League special, which goes till July 17th. It's only $26. You get everything that we've got: golf, baseball, basketball, everything that's going on. Or if you want to try us out through the weekend, 3-day pass, $10. Give us a try. If you're watching right now on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up. We really, really need that. We're moving up. We're about to cross a 2K subscriber mark there. We want to get there here very shortly. So hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, click the little alert up in the corner. You can catch all of our podcasts. We have another podcast coming out later this morning for the NBA Summer League today. And we have consistent podcast posting. If you hit that alert, you'll know every time, and you can watch it during the premiere, chat back and forth with Crash and I in there a lot of times, and get some of the inside skinny. So we really do appreciate that. All the folks that are in there every day, really a big shout out to all of them. If you're listening on any of our audio podcast landing spots like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, take a second to give a 5-star rating or whatever top rating is on your site, and a couple of words. Just, enjoyed the pod, whatever it is, so that what we'll do is Colin will go in there at the end of each month. He'll put the randomizer on everybody that's given us a top rating and comment on the audio podcast side, and somebody will win a free full month of Coach Talk All Access. So if you can take a minute to do that, we'd also really appreciate it. All right, stacks. What are you thinking?
Stacks. So I have, for my top stack, I have the Dodgers against Keegan Thompson. And then I have the Yankees. I like them against Connor Siebold. I think Aaron Judge and Anthony Rizzo should be back in the lineup. They're both held out last night. Yeah. As we both mentioned, the Braves, we like them against Eric Fetty. And then I also like Philadelphia against Adam Wainwright. So having a hard time trying to decide which players I want to use from which teams. Yeah. But those are the 4 teams that I like the most.
Sounds like a lot of 2-3-man little mini stackers for you.
Yeah, it's going to be that kind of night, I think.
My favorite stacks, even though I think the Yankees Cortez is going to get hit a little bit, I think this game will be pretty high scoring. I don't mind Boston, but I'm not quite going to stack them. A one-off will be good, but I do like the Yankee side as well. I anticipate that they're going to have their big dogs back in. And, man, they did me right yesterday. I had given Aaron Hicks a lot of garbage all year. And I finally played him on a day where he stepped it up, multiple hits, including a homer. And then him paired with Josh Donaldson, Yankees really got it done. And now they get, like you said, those guys back in the lineup. So for the youngster Seabold, yikes. LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, Torres, Hicks, kind of left it. And even Trevino I had in some of my lineups and got it done.
Yeah.
So, tough lineup there.
Really tough lineup. And what else was I going to say about that?
Hicks?
No, so what I was going to say is you had the main, like, those were really the only two guys that really did that much for the Yankees. I mean, it was a grand slam and a Hicks home run. And I guess Joey Gallo, I think he hit home run.
He did. But
so it wasn't like a 5-man stack was just takedown city or anything like that. I mean, it was just a couple of Yankees bats that really did well, and the rest of it didn't do much. So
true. Hicks also had a double, and then Trevino scored in double digits anyway with a couple of hits. So it was picking the right mini stack there. And again, when I say mini stack, that doesn't mean to me, I know it, whatever terminology you use, stack doesn't have to mean right in a row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think a stack to me, you can break it up if you want 2, 3, 5, 8, whatever. That's still a Yankee stack.
Right.
It's just not a consecutive batting order stack. So a lot of times you can go either way with that. So, of course, I like them. They'll be super popular. I get that. The other two stacks I like Houston against Blackburn today. I think they can hit them. I know Oakland's not a great place to hit, but I just think, Blackburn's due to get blown up a little bit.
Yeah.
The middle of that order is sort of hot. Alvarez came back from that big collision. He's getting it going again. Bregman certainly turned it around. Tucker is one swing, from a couple home runs. So I like that lineup today. I think Houston will do well. And then I really, really high on Atlanta tonight. That's probably my favorite stack. I just think they're going to kill Fetty here. It's in Atlanta. It's hot. That lineup with Acuna, Swanson, Olsen, Riley, Arnaud, my man Ozuna, probably in the 6 hole. And then you got, Duvall, Arcia, and Harris. Harris can hit. That kid is good.
Yeah, he is.
He is not a number 9 hitter, but I'd feel comfortable, 3, 4 of those guys anywhere in that order,
Definitely.
All right, my friend, PrizePicks, and you're the king of PrizePicks. Somebody sent me a message today asking about PrizePicks. Did you see that message I sent you?
I have not seen it, I guess.
Yeah, somebody sent me a message in our Discord saying they wanted a little advice on PrizePicks. And if you don't know, you know now. We meet with our members one-on-one. If they want a strategy session, if they want to look at how to be more successful as part of your membership, it's no free additional cost. We go one-on-one with our members for whatever. I've been on with a couple hours with some people, and we talk about everything from contest selection to bankroll management, or for example, this person today wanted advice a little bit on PrizePicks and how they can be better at PrizePicks. So if that's the case, then, we sit down, we talk with them, and we go over that. So those are the things, that we do here extra that I don't know if you're going to find anywhere else in the industry.
Yeah, probably not.
So, so enjoy that. Take advantage of that if you become a member. Pick our brains, and we'll learn from you as you learn from us, and we'll talk that stuff through. So I'm just trying to see where I put that because I wanted to give a shout out because I love when people get involved with this, ask questions. That's what we're here for. I mean, if you just wanted lineups, that's not what it's all about. It's all about all the pieces of it. The lineup is one of the last things in the process of creating, consistent winning, sustainable growth.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about. By the way, it's Mojo Coates.
Okay.
Mojo Coates.
Okay. Yeah.
So shout out to you, brother. And maybe hit him up later for PrizePicks.
Definitely. All right.
What do you got?
Reese Hoskins over 6. That's a very low fantasy score.
Why is it 6? Explain that.
Crazy low. Look at his numbers against Wainwright. It's just insane. So I'm going to definitely take that. They also have a hits walks, 1.5 hits and walks, which I think that could be in play because they could definitely walk him with the success he's had against Wainwright. And then, do you know who the number 1 team is against right-handed pitchers?
The number 1 team against right-handed pitchers in the league?
In the league.
You tell me, man. I don't want to miss.
Okay. It's the Mets.
Ooh.
And so they're 263 against right-handed pitchers as a team. So the Lopez fade that I mentioned, I'm going to take the under on his fantasy score at 32.5. He scored 13 last time he pitched against the Mets in New York. So I like the under here at 32.5.
I like it. I still can't understand how that line is 6. I would play that. If you're listening right now, play it, because if that doesn't move to 6.5 or 7, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, that's just absurdly low for a really good hitter.
Right. In a very favorable matchup.
Yeah, in a very favorable matchup. I don't understand the whole thinking there. But hey, that's the sweet part about PrizePicks is you can take advantage of that. And you're not battling somebody else. You're battling the house. So you put in there what you need and you go with it. So, all right. For me, I've got 2 that I'm going to give out. A couple of my guys aren't on there yet. So I'll be adding stuff for sure for our members. The first one, I'm going to go under Nestor Cortez, 31.5. I just don't like the matchup against Boston in that stadium where it's hot. And, I can see him at 27, 28, but 31.5
it's a decent
against
number.
that Boston team. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And he's not been striking out a ton of people like he was before.
Right.
And I hate to double up and give you the same pick, but I'm just to drive this home. I'm taking Rhys Hoskins over 6. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Crazy. I mean, it's a misprice or misnumbered deal there. So there will be some guys that I add. Hint, Jordan Alvarez may be a guy that jumps on my board. He's not on there right now for total hitter fantasy score. So
he is now.
Oh, he is?
Mm-hmm.
What's his number?
8.5.
Okay. You must have just got updated. Okay. So there you go. I gave 3 picks then. It's a bonus day for our listeners.
Well, I wanted to give another one too, but he's not on there. So, and that's our home ball. So,
who was it?
Ozuna.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Because I was scouring for Ozuna and Alvarez, and I couldn't find it, but now I do see Alvarez.
Well, it's crazy. They've got Jason DeLay, the Pirates, their backup catcher. They have him, but they don't have Marcell Ozuna on here. So
who knows, man?
Yeah.
They're adjusting the line because they know I called him out as my guy today, my BDP guy.
I guess for our 2 brains lineup, coach, we got to go with Ozuna.
Yeah, we have some no-brainer ones to fill in there. So let's go ahead and fill in our no-brainers. Ozuna, we like. We might as well just stick with Charlie Morton. We both picked him. Can't go away from him.
Do you think he'll be the highest owned pitcher?
I think Zach Wheeler. People love Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, I know they do.
I think it'll be Wheeler or Morton, probably Morton, but those would be the 2.
Yeah.
I think that will get the most ownership because other than that, though, what you may see? You may see people going for the cheaper guys that have big ceilings, like Skubal. He's cheaper. He could go get some good ownership. There's a few guys up and down this.
Giolito will get some ownership.
Giolito's the other guy, and I'll have some of that. Yeah. I mean, that's the cheapest chance you have at him. We'll see, but I think those guys will be in there. So I know this is GPP, but since we both picked him, I think we still have to take him.
Yeah, I'm going to take Hoskins as well. So, and he'll probably be lower owned. we know how a lot of the industry is about BVP, but we definitely.
I don't know. I don't think Hostin's going to be low owned. I don't think he's going to be highly owned, but I wouldn't say I'm not expecting him to be low owned.
Yeah, I think Rizzo is going to get a lot of ownership. I think Pete Alonso could get ownership. I think Goldschmidt might get some ownership. Guerrero, Freeman. There's some options there, I think, that might get more ownership than him.
So. I agree. All right, I put Jordan Alvarez in there. So this is going to be different than we've had to build before. So Morton, Hoskins, Ozuna, and Alvarez, that's a little chunky on the cash.
Yeah.
So we've got 5 spots to fill and only 27.20 to do it. But I'll tell you right now, boatload of value.
Mm-hmm.
So pressure's on for a little boatload of value pick.
I'll take Adam Duvall, 2,900.
Okay, I think that's a sensible play. Let me see here. There were a few guys I was looking at down. So we're 26.75 a body right now. There are a few guys that I was a really quirky, weird, off the wall pick that deserves to be the pick in this type of a play. He's going to have almost zero ownership and he hasn't done much, but I'm taking second baseman Jonathan Villar versus Baltimore.
All right.
I know it's a weird one, but I think he gets it done.
I played him last night. Didn't work out, but he's been leading off for them, so I like that.
Played him a day early, sir.
Yeah, I agree. That happens sometimes.
Yes.
Can we play him at third base? Because I had a second base in mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll move him over right now.
I don't know what it is about this team, but for whatever reason, Keston Hiura loves playing the Pirates. So
yeah, you've mentioned that in the past.
Yeah, and he hit a home run against them last time.
So maybe a repeat performance. Oops, I had him in utility, and we're putting him at second. Let's see here. Where is he?
He had a moonshot against the Cubs the other day. I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah, it was an absolute blast.
Yeah.
He definitely has pop when he gets a hold of it. It's just he has to get a hold of it. That's the key.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Staying on the theme of cheaper dudes that are value.
Oh, Adam Duvall looks like he's having a baby, so we're gonna have to take.
He's out.
Yeah, just placed on the paternity list.
Wow, that's good timing. I heard the ding too when it sounded.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. All right, so I'm going to take another Brave.
Okay.
Probably mentioned. Oh man, he's expensive now. Harris is 3,600 now.
That's ridiculous for a number 9 hitter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see what else we got. Oh, there's not really any. Wait. Outfield. And Rosario's really been struggling. I don't know if I want to go there.
I've got my shortstop, so just so you know.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with that. I don't know who I'm going to replace.
You're not going to be real thrilled about it, though.
Is he a Pirate?
He is a bucko.
Okay.
Diego Castillo.
Okay, I get that. I played him.
He's showing a lot of pop, and Ashby can give up a gopher here and there.
He's really good against lefties. So
yeah.
All right, 3,100. So our salary's up a little bit now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a weird one here, but I don't know. I'm gonna check these numbers.
No problem.
Not to go against one of your picks, but this guy has pretty good numbers against Giolito. Eric Haas is 4 for 11 with 2 home runs.
Yeah, I noticed that. He was he's the one guy that Gio's going to have to get past.
Coach, that leaves you with $3,900
for an outfielder.
Utility.
Oh, it's a utility. Oh,
yeah,
I forgot Haas.
Catcher, outfield.
Haas is an outfielder
on FanDuel. Yeah, catcher, outfield.
Oh, okay. So I have a $3,900 utility player, is what you're telling me.
Yes, sir.
How about we go with Manny Machado?
I like it.
So we've got, who's our second baseman again? I got this jacked up.
Castanera.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He's second. And then the last outfielder was 2,300.
Yeah. Haas.
Eric Haas. Yeah. Why is he so cheap?
I don't know. But there's no way this is going to be duplicated very much because we have nobody from the same team.
This will be very great GPP. It's going to be a unique one with single bullet you can put in there. So we got Charlie Morton, Rhys Hoskins, Keston Hiura, Jonathan Villar, Diego Castillo, Marcell Ozuna, Jordan Alvarez, Eric Haas, and Manny Machado. So what a mixture of guys that is.
Yeah, no one's going to duplicate that.
No.
Oh, wow.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff, man. I think that is it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's everything we got. So we got it done in decent amount of time. Hopefully everybody has plenty of time with that 7:05 main slate. Everybody should have plenty of time to listen to this. If you want to shoot us any questions, let us know at DFS Coach Talk. I'm at Joe Sarvati. He is at JP Davis 1982. So appreciate everybody listening in. It's going to be a great night. Plan on sweeping up on golf, basketball, and baseball. So we're going for the 3-sport sweep tonight. So any final words, Crash?
Yeah, just was curious. What time does the Summer League start today? 3 or something like that?
There's a 2-game slate that begins that they broke it into 2. So we're covering both.
Okay.
I'm going to click on it right now because you don't want to miss it because they are odd times and it gets a little confusing. So the first 2-game slate locks at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then the main Summer League slate tonight locks at 6 p.m. Eastern. So both odd times.
Yeah.
And that 6 p.m. Eastern is a 5-game slate. So we'll provide lineups for both of those.
Yeah. So you better have Marjan Beauchamp in there.
Yeah, Beauchamp. I'll tell you right now, though, they better not put any stupid hockey league round 2, whatever shenanigans here.
Yeah.
Let's get some basketball on when it's supposed to be on.
Yeah. And I did see the Bucks actually play at 7 Eastern, so they do have an earlier start time.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Well, not really, because I'll have to watch one on the TV and one on my laptop. So you're watching the Brewers and the Bucks at the same time.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'll have one on the laptop, one on the TV, and one on my phone. So I'll go. I'll be triple watching here. Yeah. And the worst is when you're watching and you get confused and root for the wrong guy to the ball to go out or something, and you're like, "What?
What am I doing?" Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, great job. Appreciate you. Have a great Friday. Let's start the weekend off right here at Coach Talk. And again, thank you so much for listening. Quick thumbs up, hit the subscribe and alert button on the way out, and have an absolutely fantastic Friday. And we'll certainly be back again tomorrow with all of these sports going, but we'll be back with a specific MLB PrizePicks and DFS winning podcast. So we will see you tomorrow here when we look to crush it in MLB DFS and PrizePicks.